How did Black Sherif go from hosting concerts like this in Nigeria to getting cyberbullied by the same country that showed him love to the extent he time limits his social media just to avoid negative comments from his fans? Sherif became the first Ghanaian artist to crack Nigerian's #1 spot with just a slow track, surpassing Ashake, Fireboy, Benson. What all Sherif did was just to put out a simple video. So how can an artist who was seemingly developing Rema's level of momentum fall from grace in such a short period of time? Or could one argue that his downfall is not what is hyped to be in the Afro music community? Afa, my name is Melo Hilary. I make video documentaries of things I'm interested in, and today we are gonna break down what led Black Sherif to regress from being Kwaku the Traveler in Nigeria to traveling himself right back to the country he exploded out of. Raised in Konongo, Zongo in the Ashanti region of Ghana, Mohammed Ishmael Sherif came into the world in 2002. Zongo is another name for a slum or trenches. Konongo is a place where you need to have a hustling mindset in order to survive, else you remain unknown. The place barely even has a location on Google Map. Even people who stay in nearby urban areas don't know the place exists. Just to tell you how deeply rural this location is.
I got to Accra. When I say I'm from Konongo Zongo, people from Accra don't know there's somewhere called Konongo Zongo in Ghana.
That's so mad.
Yeah, that's so mad.
And this added to how impossible it was for young Sherif to have a dream of becoming a successful musician. The least a young kid from a place like Konongo Zongo could wish for is happy parenting and a good education. However, Sherif got less than the minimum amount of both while growing up. His parents were barely around. Sherif's parents were traders who lived mainly in Greece. His father sold tires, while his mother bought bags and shoes, which she brought back to Ghana for their relatives to sell. As an only child, Sherif spent a lot of time living with extended family members and moving from one place to another when his parents were away. This made his community tag him as mischievous and troublesome. He frequently got into trouble at school, scaling walls and causing mischief while others behaved. This mischievousness, combined with the frustration of constantly moving from one relative home to another, led to problems at home, eventually causing him to become quiet and withdrawn. He was lonely. The only thing that gave him solace was music. When his mother was around, Sherif was exposed to Ghanaian high-life music, which she played at home. Additionally, he lived across the street from a musical ground where traditional festivals were held twice a week, allowing him to absorb more music. He only got to meet his dad for the first time when he was 7.
When I was growing up, I met my dad. I was like grade 3. I was like 8, 7, because he was in Greece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I just he used to send me things, so I just knew I had that somewhere.
However, his dad was very supportive of anything he wanted to do. His father introduced him to reggae music. He witnessed how talented Sherif was and encouraged him on any decision he wanted to embark on. This encouragement made Sherif to start biking and dancing in the Zongos, which got him exposed to the entertainment industry a little. However, Sherif's mom was fully on the school side. She would urge him to take his education more seriously than while away his time in the streets.
Like anything I've tried doing, my dad's been supportive of that. But you don't go into it fully to make my mom think like you don't want me to go to school or something. You understand me? Because I actually needed to go to school and my mom was fully on the school side. But he knew I could sing, I could rap.
In 2016, Sherif's parents had to put him in a seminary boarding high school located in Kumasi, which is a 49-kilometer 1-hour drive away from home, making it hard for Sherif to get back to the Zongos easily. However, Kumasi High School would eventually be the place where Sherif got exposed to music more. While in school, his classmates introduced him to hip-hop, more specifically the Migos. For a long while, nothing had impressed me like that, he says. I was like, yo, what kind of music is this? It led him down internet wormholes towards the Chicago drill scene and pioneers like Chief Keef, all of which became heavy influences that helped shape him into the artist we know him as today. With time, Sherif started writing his own songs and singing them during classes. His classmates would join in, using the decks as makeshift drums to beatbox along. It made going to school way more fun for Sherif than having to go back home. But that exciting vibe got cut short real quick when some crazy epidemic hit their school in 2017, Sherif's second year. Kumasi High lost 11 students in less than a year, all because of some weird bacteria thing. With the doctors not having a clue of what was causing the death, everyone was living in fear, terrified they could be next. It took forever, almost a whole year, before they finally figured out it was the H1N1 swine flu going around. Sherif lost his bunkmate Pounds to that pandemic. That messed him up big time.
See, in my room, I lost Pounds.
Oh.
Yeah, Pounce used to sleep on top of me like this. Yeah, man, that night I couldn't sleep. I know he paid.
And not just him, it traumatized the whole school for the rest of their high school days.
Not only me, like people were scared for like a whole year in school. Some were like got recovered when we were in our final year, getting to write our final paper. That was when some were recovering.
We're getting better psychologically.
Yeah.
Seeing how quickly life could be snatched away like that made Sherif realize how fragile everything really is. It was a harsh wake-up call that made him appreciate how precious life is. That whole nightmare situation changed Sherif's outlook and the kind of music he wanted to make from then on. After high school in 2019, it was certain music was the only thing Sherif wanted to do. He said he had no plan B and music was his only plan A.
So I knew like after high school this was my thing. Anyway, anyhow, cause like now it wasn't my plan B no more.
Right.
It was my plan A, man. We are here. We don't have no plan B. We are here.
This undying urge was coming from the final year graduation they had. During this period, the school was gradually recovering from the pandemic that had befallen them 2 years ago. And Sherif had started writing music again, so he decided to record for the first time, which he did and shared with his fellow classmates. He said the music was so good that everyone was singing it word for word while he was performing during the graduation.
And we got to the stage for the first time in school. We performed it, people sang it. It's like, now I'm locked in for this is forever. Cause like I like the feeling. Charlie, me I get song, people they sing my song like that. My school people, you know.
It was this moment and feeling that made him believe he was born to be a superstar. So he told his close friend Farouk. Farouk on the other hand was into photography and art. He had the same passion and their connection would go a long way later in this video.
Never dies. Baby. This spirit never dies, bro.
In 2019, it wasn't the OGs like Sakodi, Stoneboy or Arutubis that were making waves. It was the young lad season, Kwesiato, the Lamen Gang. And also in Nigeria, young stars like Rema and Fireboy were topping not just Nigerian charts, but also Ghanaian top charts, which later became part of one of the problems that got Sherif into trouble in this video. Seeing his fellow youngins making it to the mainstream added to his drive to work hard and become better. He would become a member of the Support the Youth movement, STY, which was a clan formed by the Konongo youth to push and support themselves. They would drop freestyles and promote them together, tagging any popular celebrities to support the movement. It wouldn't take long before he dropped his first single, Cry For Me, which became a major hit in his community.
Black Sherif.
Thank G on the beat.
Grinding, so when we go get the money.
Sherif knew how important social media was and made good use of it. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. He would search for usernames of top artists, including celebrities and managers. Anyone who could listen to his song, he was convinced they would see his potential and give him a chance.
Go. Give thanks. Never my mind. It's not bad. Me strength could I never lie.
It won't take long before one of his callouts would attract Ajize, a Ghanaian comedian who would start showing support and reposting his work. And then his repost got the attention of a rapper named Konongo, who invited him to the big city Accra to begin his journey professionally.
Ajize saw that video.
Which one, the comedian?
Yeah, the comedian Ajize. He saw that video no repost here. And Ponobium say Yambra, or say Ponobium hitting say Yambra Accra.
Unfortunately, life in Accra wasn't going to be that easy. Accra can be similar to Lagos in Nigeria. You snooze, you lose. But he was already prepared before the invitation. He told Farouk, who was now in university, about his plan of moving to Accra and fully pushing his music career, asking him to pretend to be his manager so he could sound professional when making connection.
So like we was trying to, every time we was trying to like be professional about what we was doing. I told him, Farouk, I need to go to Accra. I think this thing would make sense if I did Accra, because that's where the media is, that's what everything is.
When Sherif got to the city of Accra, it became a different ball game. He went into full beast mode. Freestyles upon freestyles, tracks upon tracks. Mariana. Money.
Show me where the money day. I just the hustle for long.
Destiny.
My destiny. I just the rise and fall. Show me baby I'm free.
Ankonam. Every single he released from 2019 to 2020 was like a powerful wake-up call to the music industry that he was going to be the next wave, and it was undeniable. There was something about him and his music that made people want to connect and know more about him. First of all, it was the cadence in his voice that easily pierced through the listener's soul. Secondly, it was his aura. When you looked at Sherif and listened to his music, you would think he was older and more mature. But this guy was clocking 18 in 2020. This particular reason has made lots of people see him as an old soul, which means when someone younger displays certain qualities or a maturity level that seems wise beyond their years. Plus, you must be wondering how an 18-year-old Sherif from a very religious family got the audacity to move to a major city like Accra, which is a 197 km 4 hours drive from his home, all by himself to go do music freely, and wasn't questioned by his parents or any family member. Well, the truth is, Sherif's parents didn't even know what he went to Accra to do. He lied to them about getting an application at the university, so his parents were giving him money thinking he was in school, which explains how he was able to pay for his studio times and stay surviving in the city.
I had to lie so much to like get that freedom to make music, you understand? When I was in Konongo, when I had to move to Accra, I didn't have the university application, but I told them I have it.
Okay.
Took money and that. So I got there and that.
Everything would change in May 2021 when he released his first sermon single, which showcased a completely new and improved sound that was ear candy to the Afro music heads all over the world. He first dropped the behind the scene video of him singing the song, teasing the song plus a music video to his fans on Twitter, and this set the Ghanaian music industry ablaze. Sherif said he had never witnessed such a spike in any of his previously uploaded video before.
He had some views, like some 100Ks and all that, but I hadn't seen like a 700K thing before.
Right.
Still, oh, yo, what's this one?
Immediately, he uploaded the full song on Boomplay and Audiomack, and it went crazy, gaining more than 1 million streams in less than 2 weeks. The song became his first #1 on his country chart, and it was here he started receiving comments claiming that he was gonna blow up soon and that he was the one, leading to him being recognized by Sarkodie, who followed him and showed him massive support. He wasted no time releasing the follow-up track, Second Sermon, and he had officially become the center of everyone's radar. However, Sherif had no idea what was about to happen next, and that his lifestyle would completely transform only 1 year into the future. While the Second Sermon track was becoming a major hit in Ghana and gaining more than 1 million views on YouTube in just 6 days, Sherif would get a call from someone telling him that Burna Boy likes his song. You could imagine how he felt. Yo, this was 2021 and Burna had just won his first Grammy award, making Burna Boy the first Afrobeat artist to win a Grammy. Omo, if na me, I go crazy. Their connection would later lead to the remix of the Second Sermon track, which softly transitioned Sherif into the Nigerian music scene.
Everybody knows my mentor.
The song became most Nigerians' introduction to who Black Sherif was, and they would go all the way to support his craft more than they had done for any Ghanaian artist before, helping him ink his first official deal with Empire Distribution Record.
Thank you guys so much. Ghana, Nigeria, we are one love forever. Trust me. Ghana, Nigeria is one. Trust me.
We see the bang Second Sermon, but Sherif doubled down with another single early the next year, 2022, with yet another performance video that went viral, singing to the popular track Kwaku the Traveler. If you're looking for a wake-up call to show you how big and fast the internet can push someone, I believe this is your answer. Due to this single, he became a superstar. Kwaku the Traveler started traveling all around the world non-stop.
Of course I fucked up. Who never fuck up, hands in the air?
Most people watching this video were likely introduced to Black Sherif from this song, as it became one of the explosive hits of this generation. At first, this song didn't really pick up that much attraction, and it wasn't until it became a trend on TikTok where it would go on to be used over 700,000 times, and it really showcased the power of going viral in the app, making it the most Shazam song globally at that time. On top of this, Sherif claimed that his song was made in just 20 minutes.
I wrote KTT like under 20 minutes.
I saw.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because it was that fast.
The song blew up mostly because it became a trend on TikTok, and mostly because of Sherif's art of transposing messages through his music.
Remember, you know a traveler, the name is who the hustler. It's the father where chasing Kuala.
This song became the first Ghanaian single to reach the #1 spot on the Nigerian Apple Music chart and also stayed 2 weeks on the turntable chart, which is insane. For reference, it takes a hook or a chorus from an Afrobeat artist before any Nigerian hip-hop artist can lock at the #1 spot in Nigeria. So for a Ghanaian act to do this with just a solo track and beat the odds to the top spot in Nigeria became an eye-opener for Nigerians. Not to mention that songs like Rema's Calm Down, Fireboy's Playboy, Ashake's Sumba, Fields and Benson's Finesse were on that same chart he spiked up to. It was also the first time a Ghanaian was able to have more than 2 tracks that belonged to them on the Nigerian bass chart, something Nigerian artists have been dominating in Ghana for years, giving Nigerian artists a taste of their own medicine. But nothing could stop him, and Sherif capitalized on his momentum for his debut album, Villain I Never Was. Within weeks, the album top charted in Ghana and Nigeria and debuted at #12 on Billboard World Album Chart. By the time he picked up the Best New Artist and Best Hip Hop Song at the Ghana Music Award, Sherif was a household name, but like all things that rise up too quickly, Sherif's famous success took a drastic turn when he joined his countrymen to advocate for their movement, leading Nigerians to send him back down the hole he had skyrocketed out of.
When you go and check Apple Music Top 100 Ghanaian songs, you see foreign music. But that's what they hear on their radio and that's what they vibe to, so that's what rings in their head.
The problem started on the 14th of December 2022 when the Tourism, Arts and Culture Ministry, in collaboration with Creative Art and some music industry stakeholders, launched the PlayGhana initiative. Their goal was to promote Ghanaian music across the country during the Christmas dated December activities, where there is an influx of diasporans spending their holiday in Ghana, which is actually a nice thing to do to boost underground artists in Ghana. But here is where things got interesting. During the PlayGhana press briefing, some musicians were there to help push the initiatives, like Small God, Samini, Reggie Rockstone, and Black Sherif. Wait though, Black Sherif? What think Black Sherif they do here, Kwano? This right here was every Nigerian's reaction when they saw the news. You see, Nigeria and Ghana can be seen in Africa as two siblings with a Tom and Jerry kind of vibe. Both countries are on the lookout for where the other one is better and use it to rub it on the opponent's face just for fun. So when Nigerians saw the news that Ghanaians were trying to push their music more than foreign music, they had no issues though. However, seeing Black Sherif, an artist they truly love, among the ones pushing the agenda was as if Ghanaians were trying to rub the agenda in their face. It was like saying, hello people of Ghana, here is Black Sherif, our greatest warlord, who went to Nigeria and became the best. Let us groom more warriors like Sherif, so we can go and do to Nigeria what they have been doing to us. Obviously, this whole situation didn't sit well with Nigerians, and Sherif was left to take the blowback of their reaction. Black Sherif and a couple of Ghanaian artists have come publicly to say they do not want foreign music in Ghana. They want Ghanaians to listen to Ghanaian music. I just deleted all your songs. You are banned in Nigeria now. As well, on God, me and the gang just deleted all his songs. He needs to apologize publicly or we cancel him. It wasn't looking good for Sherif and he had to fire back saying, yeah. I know in my speech that says ban foreign music. How Chris can spin the message. Alright, novice. I don't know where in my speech I said ban foreign music. How crazy can you spin a message that says love your culture and try play local music to your visitor if you wanna see your country creative break boundaries? How do I want foreign music banned in my country? Why I work with foreign producers and artists? But agenda set a lie. Good luck to everybody.
Simply, you are in the media and you know that certain media platforms and personalities love agenda. And there is no better agenda than to create something that didn't exist. That image that we spoke about, Reggie Rockstone and OG, Samini and OG, Small God and OG. You know, these are OGs that we're talking.
DJ Mensa was
Mensa standing right next to them. And it's an OG representing Sako there. And then you have a young artist in Black Sherif there. Who do you think haters and bloggers want to pick? Do you think they will attack Small God or they'll talk to Reggie Rockstone?
Funny enough though, this wasn't the first time Sherif has been dragged online this badly. 1 year ago before this incident, he had issues with his countrymen over that deal I mentioned earlier he signed with Empire while he dropped the second sermon remix track. In August 2021, while Sherif's first sermon and second sermon were buzzing in Ghana before the Burna Boy's connection, Sherif signed a deal with the Ghanaian-based company Wayne's Chavis Consort. However, due to the Burna Boy effect on his career, Empire came into the picture, presumably with a better offer. leading to a breach of contract between Sherif and Chavis Consort. This situation is common with many upcoming artists. At first, they sign any available deal just to get them going, then later jump on a better option without giving two thoughts on the deal they signed. The same thing happened here in Rema's story. Black Sherif got sued by his former label boss, and there were also rumors that even the distribution deal he had with Empire was a bad one. Ghanaians were not happy with him because if you reason out, Empire distribution is dominated by Nigerian artists in Africa, which made it look as if Sherif left a Ghanaian label for a Nigerian one. After the massive success of Kwaku the Traveler, Black Sherif's music has had a tough time staying on top of Nigerian charts. His streaming numbers are still solid though, but the buzz around him isn't what it used to be. That crazy hype he had when he blew up, it's cooled off a lot. It's like the spotlight shifted and folks ain't talking about him the same way anymore.
Screen timer to use my boy Instagram ember or say time limit. After 9, me share Instagram.
When you are in the limelight, when you're a public figure, when you become a celebrity, you expose your life to people. Everyone is in your business. The truth is, anyone can wake up and set up an agenda for you, either just to drag you or get views. It is part of the life you signed up for. Now, how you get calculated in dealing with some of these things is what will determine your longevity in the game. No one can predict how much longer Sherif's career would last if it keeps staggering in between the country's brouhaha. The best advice would be for him to keep doing what he does best, which is dropping soul-catching music, and try as much as possible to stay away from internet riffraff. If not, the social media account won't be the only thing he would need to add time limits on. Maybe his career as well.